Let me tell you something, when I came to America, nobody believed an Austrian bodybuilder with a funny accent could become Mr. Olympia, a Hollywood star, and even a governor. But I proved them wrong because I had a vision, I had the drive, and I had the courage to keep going when people said no. And right now, I see the same fire, the same hunger, the same unstoppable vision, not in Los Angeles, not in New York, but in India. 6 Indian cities are not just dreaming, they are training every single day like champions. They are sweating, innovating, building muscle in business, in technology, in finance. And just like in the gym, where every rep makes you stronger, every new company, every new innovation, every bold decision is building the world's next business empire. So listen closely, because by the end of this speech, you will see what I see, that the future of global business is being built rep by rep, city by city in India. And once this engine is running, nobody can stop it. Not America, not China, not anybody. This is the rise of a giant. This is the rise of India. When I talk about vision, I want you to understand something very clearly. Nothing great in this world has ever been built without vision. Vision is the starting point, the spark that lights the fire. Without vision, you are just wandering in the dark, lifting weights without knowing why, running without a finish line. But when you have vision, when you see the future before anyone else can, then you are unstoppable. And that is exactly what Bengaluru, the Silicon Valley of India, has done decades ago. People looked at Bengaluru and saw a quiet city, a place with gardens, lakes, maybe a little industry, but nothing that screamed global power. But some people had a vision. They saw not what the city was, but what it could become. They saw a place where technology could take root, where knowledge could grow, where the best and brightest minds could come together and create something extraordinary. They believed in it when others laughed. They believed in it when people said, it's impossible, and look at it now. Today, Bengaluru is the muscle of India's digital economy. It is the beating heart of software, of startups, of artificial intelligence, of innovation. Every day, young people walk into those offices, those incubators, those tech parks, carrying laptops instead of dumbbells. But make no mistake, they are training just as hard as any athlete. They are putting in the reps with code, with ideas, with new business models. They are building strength in a different kind of gym, the gym of innovation. The energy in Bengaluru is electrifying. When you step into that city, you don't just see buildings and traffic, you feel momentum. You feel ambition. You feel that everyone there is chasing something bigger than themselves. And that is the beauty of vision. It spreads. One person's belief becomes a company's mission, and that company's mission becomes a city's identity. That is why today, when people around the world think of cutting-edge technology, they don't just think of Silicon Valley in California, they think of Bengaluru. Now, let me tell you why this matters. The world is not run by those who accept the present. It is run by those who shape the future, the ones who dare to see what does not yet exist and then make it real. Bengaluru has become that force. It has become the laboratory where the future is tested and perfected. From artificial intelligence to fintech, from biotechnology to clean energy solutions, the city is producing not just products but possibilities. And those possibilities are giving India a seat at the head table of the global economy. This did not happen by accident. It came from discipline, from thousands of engineers, entrepreneurs, and visionaries putting in long nights, hard work, sacrifices. Just like training in the gym, you don't get muscles overnight. You sweat, you struggle, you push through the pain. Bengaluru pushed through. It faced infrastructure problems, power shortages, skepticism from the world. But instead of giving up, it adapted, it kept going, it stayed focused on the vision. And now it is stronger than ever. And here's the truth, you can feel the hunger there. Young people are not satisfied with just getting a job. They want to create, they want to innovate, they want to disrupt industries. They are not waiting for opportunities to come, they are making their own. That hunger is the real strength of Bengaluru. That hunger is what makes it unstoppable. Think about it. Every great empire in history started with a city that dared to be more. Rome, Athens, London, New York. These were cities that built empires not with walls, but with ideas, with trade, with influence. Bengaluru is on that path. It is not just a city anymore. It is becoming a symbol of what happens when vision meets determination. And let me tell you, the world is paying attention. Investors are paying attention. Companies from Silicon Valley, from Europe, from all over Asia are looking at Bengaluru and saying, this is where the future is being written. And when the world looks at you that way, you have to stand tall, you have to flex your strength, and you have to keep growing, because vision never stops. Vision is not a one-time thing. Vision is a muscle. You have to keep working it, keep stretching it, keep making it stronger. So what can we learn from Bengaluru? We learn that success does not start with resources, it starts with belief. It starts with people who are willing to dream bigger than anyone else. We learn that even when the world doubts you, even when they tell you that you are too small, too inexperienced, too far behind, you can still rise, you can still dominate, because greatness is not given. It is built rep by rep, day by day, vision by vision. And this is only the beginning. Bengaluru is not done yet. The city is young, its people are young, and the opportunities are endless. The vision is alive, and it is spreading, inspiring other cities, inspiring a whole nation. This is how empires are built, not in one day, not in one victory, but in the relentless pursuit of something greater. That is the power of vision. That is the power of Bengaluru. When we talk about innovation, we are not just talking about creating new products or services. Innovation is about transformation. It's about taking what looks ordinary and turning it into something extraordinary. It's about looking at what you have in your hands and asking, how can I make this stronger, faster, better? And when I think of innovation in India, I think immediately of Hyderabad. For centuries, Hyderabad was known as the city of pearls. It was famous for its gems, for its culture, for its history. But that was the past. The present, and more importantly, the future, is something entirely different. This city has taken the strength of its traditions and used it as the foundation to build an empire of innovation. It has moved from pearls to powerhouses, from jewelry to giants of industry. That is what true innovation looks like, not forgetting who you are, but evolving into who you were meant to be. Hyderabad is now home to one of the most powerful technology and pharmaceutical hubs in the world. It is where IT meets biotech, where software meets science, where tradition meets the future. The companies that are rising here are not just competing, they are dominating. Global leaders in pharmaceuticals are calling Hyderabad their base. Some of the biggest names in IT and software are building massive campuses there. This is not luck, my friends. This is strategy. This is discipline. This is innovation in action. When you walk through Hyderabad today, you can see the transformation with your own eyes. The skyline is filled with glass towers and buzzing offices, but it is more than just buildings. It is the energy of people who believe that they can change the world. And that is the real innovation, not the technology itself, but the mindset behind it. The courage to say, we will not be stuck in the past. We will not be defined by what we were. We will create something new, something powerful, something that the world cannot ignore. That courage is what separates leaders from followers. Innovation is never safe. It requires risk. It requires stepping into unknown territory. It requires the guts to fail and the determination to get back up again. Hyderabad embodies that spirit. It has taken bold bets on industries like life sciences and biotech, industries that require patience, research, and enormous investment. And now, those bets are paying off. Medicines developed in Hyderabad are being used across the world. Technologies created here are solving global problems. This is not a city that waits for the future to arrive. This is a city that builds the future with its own hands. What I love most about Hyderabad's story is how it shows the power of reinvention. Too often, people believe that where you start is where you must stay. But innovation is about refusing to stay the same. It is about evolving, transforming, becoming stronger with each challenge. Hyderabad was once known for pearls, but it refused to be limited by that identity. It reinvented itself as a global center of technology and science. That is the power of innovation, the courage to say, this is not enough, I will be more. And let me tell you, innovation is contagious. Once it takes hold, it spreads. When one company in Hyderabad starts pushing the boundaries, another one rises and pushes even further. When one entrepreneur builds something groundbreaking, it inspires the next generation to dream bigger. Suddenly, you have a culture of innovation, an ecosystem where bold ideas are not the exception but the expectation. That is what is happening right now in Hyderabad. It is not just a place, it is a mindset, a factory of innovation that keeps producing new energy, new ideas. new leaders. This is why Hyderabad is such an important part of the empire India is building, because no empire survives without innovation. Rome built aqueducts, Britain built ships, America built Silicon Valley, and now India is building Hyderabad into a city that will define the future of medicine, the future of technology, the future of human progress. This is the muscle of innovation, and it is growing stronger every single day. And don't forget, the world is watching. International investors, governments, global corporations, they are not ignoring Hyderabad anymore. They are moving in. They are setting up offices, research labs, partnerships, because they see what is happening here and they know it cannot be stopped. Innovation attracts innovation. Strength attracts strength. And Hyderabad has become a magnet for both. So when I say Hyderabad is going from pearls to powerhouses, understand this is not just a clever phrase. This is the reality. This is the transformation of a city that dared to innovate, that dared to reinvent itself, that dared to lead, and in doing so, it is helping to carry India forward into the future. That is the strength of innovation. That is the strength of Hyderabad. When we talk about endurance, we are talking about something deeper than strength. Strength can win you a battle, but endurance wins you the war. Endurance is what keeps you moving forward long after the excitement has faded, long after the applause is gone, long after the easy victories are behind you. It is the ability to keep going, to carry the weight, to survive storms and still stand tall. And in India's story of building a global business empire, endurance belongs to two giants, Mumbai and Delhi. Mumbai is the financial capital of India. It is the city that never sleeps, the engine that keeps driving forward day and night. If you want to understand endurance, stand on the streets of Mumbai and watch the people move. Watch the trains packed with workers, the offices glowing with lights at midnight, the constant hum of ambition that never shuts off. That is endurance, not just surviving, but thriving under pressure. Mumbai carries the weight of finance, trade, media, and entertainment on its shoulders. It is the chest of this empire, pumping economic oxygen into the entire country. But Mumbai is more than just numbers and stock markets. It is resilience. This is a city that has been tested again and again by floods, by attacks, by crises that could have broken its spirit. But every time Mumbai stood back up, every time it refused to quit, every time it said, "We will not stop, we will not slow down, we will keep moving." That resilience is what makes Mumbai so powerful. It is not just a financial hub, it is a symbol of endurance. Now let us look at Delhi. If Mumbai is the chest, Delhi is the backbone. It is the seat of power, the place where decisions are made, where policies are crafted, where the course of the nation is shaped. Without Delhi, the empire cannot stand tall. It is not just about politics, it is about leadership, influence, and strategy. Delhi is where ideas are turned into law, where vision is given structure, where ambition is backed by authority. And just like endurance in the body is not built by a single muscle, but by the entire system working together, endurance in a nation is built when finance and power, money and policy come together in balance. Mumbai and Delhi are like chest and back in a workout. You cannot build a strong body by training one and ignoring the other. They push and pull against each other, but in that tension, they create balance. Together, they give India the endurance to compete with the largest economies on earth. Think about it. Mumbai brings in the capital, the drive, the constant flow of business. Delhi provides the stability, the framework, the leadership that channels that energy. One city fuels, the other directs. One city hustles, the other governs. And together they make sure the engine does not run out of steam. That is why endurance is not just about speed, it is about sustainability. Without endurance, success burns out. With endurance, success becomes unstoppable. What makes this endurance even more impressive is the sheer scale. Mumbai is not just managing money, it is managing the hopes of millions who come to the city with nothing but a dream. Delhi is not just passing laws, it is steering a nation of over 1 billion people into the future. The weight they carry is enormous, but they carry it with strength. And because they carry it, the rest of the nation can move forward with confidence. There is something else here too. Endurance is not glamorous. It does not always get the applause. People celebrate innovation, they celebrate vision, but endurance is the quiet hero. It is the long hours in the office, the endless policy meetings, the relentless push to keep the system running. Mumbai and Delhi do that heavy lifting every single day. They are not waiting for recognition, they are focused on results. And let us be clear, endurance does not mean standing still. It means pushing forward despite the obstacles. Mumbai is constantly reinventing itself, expanding its stock exchanges, growing its industries, diversifying its economy. Delhi is constantly adapting, modernizing policies, strengthening global ties, building infrastructure. That is the essence of endurance, not staying the same, but evolving, improving, finding new ways to survive and thrive. The lesson here is powerful. Endurance is not about being the fastest or the strongest for one moment. It is about showing up day after day, year after year, decade after decade. It is about carrying the weight of expectations, the weight of responsibility, and still saying, I will not break. Mumbai and Delhi embody that lesson. They are not perfect. They face challenges every day, but they endure. And that endurance gives India the stability it needs to rise higher, to push harder, to dream bigger. So when we talk about empires, remember this: empires are not built on short bursts of glory. They are built on the long, steady grind of endurance. And India's endurance lies in the tireless heart of Mumbai and the unshakable backbone of Delhi. That is the endurance of growth. That is the power of Mumbai and Delhi. When we talk about the future, we are talking about the next generation of power, the engines that will keep this empire moving long after today's victories. Because here is the truth: vision gives you the direction, innovation gives you the edge, endurance gives you stability, but without a foundation for the future, without strong legs to carry the weight, the whole body collapses. And that is where Chennai and Pune step into the story. They are not just supporting the empire, they are propelling it forward. Chennai is the industrial powerhouse. For decades, it has been the beating engine of automobiles, manufacturing, shipping, and heavy industry. When you look at Chennai, you see factories stretching across the horizon, shipyards moving goods across the seas, machines roaring with production. This is not the flashy part of the empire. This is not the glamorous part, but it is absolutely essential. Just like legs in the body, they may not always get the attention, but they are what hold everything up. Without them, you go nowhere. What makes Chennai so powerful is its consistency. Industries there are not chasing quick wins. They are built for longevity, for reliability, for the kind of growth that does not disappear when trends change. Car manufacturers, IT service giants, hardware companies. Chennai has earned the reputation of being the dependable workhorse. And in business, that matters, because you cannot build an empire on hype alone. You need solid foundations, you need dependable industries, you need production that keeps running day after day, year after year. Chennai provides that. But do not mistake consistency for weakness. The industries in Chennai are not standing still. They are moving toward electric vehicles, renewable energy, smart manufacturing. They are adapting, evolving, and positioning themselves to stay relevant in the future. This is endurance with a future mindset. This is strength combined with vision. And that is what makes Chennai one of the legs that carries the empire forward. Then we have Pune, the city of talent and education. Pune is not just producing graduates, it is producing leaders, innovators, and entrepreneurs. With its universities, research centers, and startup ecosystem, Pune has become a factory for ideas. If Chennai builds the machines, Pune builds the minds. And that balance is what makes them so powerful together. When you walk through Pune, you see a different kind of energy. It is youthful, dynamic, experimental. Young people are not afraid to take risks. They are starting companies, testing ideas, failing fast, and trying again. That is the real sign of a strong future, not people who are afraid to fall, but people who are willing to get back up stronger every single time. Pune is filled with that spirit. It is like a training ground for champions, where every failure is just another rep that builds muscle for the next attempt. And let me tell you something, the combination of industry and talent is unstoppable. Chennai gives the empire its industrial backbone, its production power, its steady heartbeat. Pune gives it the brain power, the creativity, the entrepreneurial fire. One city builds, the other imagines. One city executes, the other innovates. Together they are like the legs that not only support the weight, but also drive the stride, pushing the whole body forward with momentum. This is why the future belongs to them, because they are not just reacting to the present, they are preparing for tomorrow. Chennai is shifting gears into new industries that will define the next decades. Pune is shaping young minds who will lead the world in technology, business, and beyond. This is not about today's headlines. This is about laying the foundation for generations. And think about this. An empire that invests in its future is an empire that cannot be stopped. Too many times in history, nations have risen quickly but fallen just as fast because they failed to prepare for tomorrow. But with Chennai and Pune, India is making sure the legs are strong, the base is unshakable, the stride is long and steady. These cities are ensuring that India's rise is not temporary but permanent. The lesson here is clear. Success is not only about vision, innovation, or endurance. It is also about building a foundation that will carry you into the future. You cannot skip leg day in the gym, and you cannot skip building the engines of the future in business. If you do, you collapse. But when your legs are strong, when your base is powerful, you can stand tall, you can move fast, and you can go the distance. That is what Chennai and Pune are doing. They are not waiting for the future to arrive. They are building it right now. They are preparing the empire not just to survive, but to dominate for decades to come. That is the future. That is the unstoppable power of Chennai and Pune.